Assalamualaikum guys. This is Dr. Nida Masroor with another brainstorming session on being entrepreneur. The topic we are going to discuss today is how to develop an effective marketing plan. You know that in an organization, the most important part of an organization plan is its marketing plan. In a business plan, uh, the major parts that constitutes a business plan are similar to those of a marketing plan. So today we are going to discuss the same thing, that how to come up with an innovative idea. Being an entrepreneur, for that purpose, we have to come up with an effective entrepreneurial idea, an innovative idea. And that is the first thing we have to do. So let's begin. Okay, first of all, we are going to discuss the outline of a marketing plan. To come up with an idea and to work it strategically, its outline is very much important. That is a roadmap that will help you through the problem. So first thing we need to come up with is the idea. Then comes the market analysis or the environment analysis in which the organization is going to operate. The next is the SWOT analysis. Keep this thing in mind that this is a kind of deductive approach. The market analysis or the environment analysis is of broader perspective that highlights the industry traits, that highlights the business, economic environment, and all those things that are encountered, that are faced by the organization. And from that broader perspective, you deduct the later things, that is the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, that's strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And they are deducted from the environment. Strengths and weaknesses are related to the internal environment of an organization, and opportunities and threats comes out of the external environment. Next comes is the STP, that is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Again, all these things will come out of the previous work we have done so far. Then comes analyzing competition. After going through the segmentation and deciding on the target market, we are going to come up and how to position that thing in the market. We have to understand and analyze the competition we are going to face, because standing in front of your competitors and like making your product known as compared to them is a tough task. There are so many choices in front of the customers, and why are they going to choose your product? That needs a lot of answers. So for that purpose, we are going to discuss the Porter's model. Then Porter is a tool that specifically is used to understand, analyze, and interpret the competition that exists in the market, and that helps you making this strategy in a very appropriate way. Then comes defining the POPs and PODs, the point of parity that defines the category membership of a product in the market, and point of differentiation that makes your product stand out as compared to your competitors. Later on, after defining the point of differentiation in the market, we have to come up with the USP, that is unique selling point. And as the name itself indicates, unique selling point is that particular attribute that helps you sell unique selling point, that helps you, the unique point that exists in your product, and that is the main factor that drives your customers toward your product. Last but not the least is designing the marketing mix, the final combination that is given to the customer, that is delivered to the customer. And all the previous work was done, that is market analysis, competition, SWOT analysis, all those things were done to achieve this single objective, that is defining and designing an appropriate marketing mix that will help not only identify the right need of the customer, but will get maximum level of satisfaction from the customers. So moving on towards the details of the marketing plan. First thing, as we have discussed earlier, that the first thing that comes is the idea generation, out of the box thinking. This is one of the most important traits that differentiates an entrepreneur from the businessman. When we say an entrepreneur, he is the one who is the risk taker, who is innovator and risk taker because of the sense, because whenever you come up with an innovative idea means the one thing that was not previously being delivered in the market. You don't know the statistics. That is not a random product that had already been like provided in the market, and you know the statistics, you know the customer preferences. This is not like the case. In case of an innovative idea that is provided, that is new to the customers, and you don't know what would be their reactions. So for that matter, an entrepreneurial idea is the one that is out of the box thinking, that will identify the need. And need identification is one thing. How we usually say the marketers are those persons that identify the customer needs, what even they don't know by themselves. So for that idea generation, for that need identification, we have two different methods. One is the resource-oriented idea generation, resource-based idea generation, and the other one is problem-oriented or problem-based idea generation. So these are two very easy ways with which you can come up with an idea. First of all, now identify your resource. We need to understand one thing, that everything in the world is a resource. Nothing is useless. For an entrepreneur, for an organization to make profits, to work in the organization, work in the environment, they need to understand that everything that is available in the world is a resource, whether it be the natural resources, whether it be the human resources. And natural resources, you can say the plants, the trees, the animals, the birds, even the mud, the cement. There are so many things that are made up of mud. There are so many things with the soil, with the beach mud. So even the glass is made up of different kind of things, combination of these things. Even the waste is not, even the garbage is not waste anymore. We know it very well that people all over the world are making use of the waste or the garbage based on the recycling, the reuse of the products, and the garbage is used for creating biomass fuel, the pellets, and there are so many other products that are made up of the similar things. Things are recycled, things are reused, cans are recycled. So with the help of these resources, we are able to come up with any idea. An easy way to come up with, to identify the resource and to come up with any idea is, let's take a plant, and be it any kind of plant. And if we say, if I'm working on the neem tree, so I should not only focus on its leaves or its fruit. Select different kind of resources, different kind of trees. Don't always go for the one that bears the fruit. No, there are so many others. So in case if I'm selecting a neem tree or any other, let's say the moringa tree, I should know what is the use of its stem, whether it can be used for furniture making, whether it can be used for medicinal purposes, whether it can be used for kind of fragrance making, as in case of sandalwood, and so many other woods are very good in creating fragrances. So in case of, and what is the other use of its leaves? Uh, can we make some kind of medicines with the help of that thing? Can we make different kind of cosmetic products with the help of that thing? Or the teas can be made with the help of different kinds of leaves of different, like moringa tree, that is very beneficial, that contains a lot of nutrients that are very beneficial for human beings. In case of neem, that has antimicrobial properties, antiseptic properties, and that can be used for different kind of medicines. A toner can be made with the help of neem leaves. And in case of, let's talk about the stem, the complete coconut tree. We only always have the use of the coconut fruit, but why not the stem? And why not the leaves? Have you ever tried to search out the benefits of its leaves, its root, its branches, its fruit, other than its fruit? So that's what we need to understand, that while dealing with any kind of product, while working on any kind of product, identifying the resources will uh, help maximize different kind of products, help identifying different kind of products and byproducts that can be made with the help of those things. So in case if we come up with like animal or bird, we need to understand that with any animal, let's say the cow, the goats, or any different kind of animals, we can not only consume its meat, rather we can make use of its skin, we can make use of its fats, we can make use of it, even its waste. The cow dung is used, cow manure is used for making not only fertilizer, but the fuel purposes, or the milk, or the birds can be used for different medicinal properties. Their like meat can be used, their feathers can be used for generating even electricity. So these are different kind of uses we need to understand. Other than animals, plants, birds, trees, we have the minerals in hand, like sulfur, gemstones. Gemstones are not only useful for ornamental purposes, but they also have the hidden, being the transition metals, they also have the hidden medicinal properties, and their products can be used for healing properties, for different kind of uses. So an entrepreneur need to understand that they can come up with any kind of idea, and they can that would be able to identify and the need of the product and satisfy their problems, satisfy their needs, identify their problems, and satisfy their needs without like creating any problems with them. So moving on towards the next slide, that is problem-based idea generation. Another way to identify the problem is, as you can see on the screen, a problem leads to a solution, and you always come up with another problem. So keep this thing in mind. Whenever you're going to propose any solution, you will have to identify, you have to preempt so many other problems that can come up, that can arise as a result of providing those solutions. So this is another way of what are the problem-based ideas. For example, in the past, people were having houses that had electricity lines and pipelines. So they came up with an idea. With the pipelines, they had the metal pipes, steel pipes, and they had the rusting properties. So they came up with an idea and they started providing the PVC pipes. But later on, they realized that there so many PVC pipes were so weak that in most of the cases, they just burst out while being concealed, and they give rise to the problem of seepage in the houses, or the electric wiring that is concealed that help maximize the beauty in the house, but unfortunately that maximizes the problem of locating the shortage, wire breakages, or replacing even those wires as well. So that was the first step. That was all about identifying the right problem and coming up with a way to their solution. So from that point onwards, we are going to discuss. Now it's your turn. I've already discussed the way to generate different ideas, and the ideas that can be based on identifying the problem. So it's your turn now. Do you have any idea that help either make use of the resource or that help uncover a problem and provide its solution? I hope you all have worked out on your idea, what you want to work with, what is your innovative idea that you want to launch in the market. So moving on towards the next step, that is understanding the environment. Okay, first of all, we need to understand what is environment all about. So, environment are the surroundings that help you, that has an effect on organization. So whenever being the human, we can say that all the environment, all the surroundings that have an effect on the well-being of humans, the survival of humans, that is considered the environment. Similarly, and when we talk about the organization, we need to understand in which environment the organization is operating, and how are we going to deal with that environmental factors. In marketing, we usually divide the environment. We divide the environment in two different categories. One is the internal or microenvironment of an organization, whereas the other one is external or macro environment of an organization. Uh, in microenvironment or internal environment is also known as the controllable one, because these are those factors that are within the control of an organization and that help constitute the policies uh, by the organization. Whereas the macro environment or external environment are those environments that is not, these are not only the factor, rather these are complete environments that are beyond control of an organization. And the organization or the entrepreneur needs to understand that for the survival or the growth of an organization, the compatibility of internal environment or microenvironment with respect to external environment is very much important. For example, for instance, we can say that in case if I am sitting in a severe climatic conditions, if I'm sitting in very extreme cold, in that case, I will install a heater within my room. Whereas in case if I am living in very hot climatic areas, in that case, I will be installing an AC within my room. And if I will reverse the situation and if I'll use the AC in cold climatic areas, or if I will use the heater in hot climatic areas, so in both the cases, my survival would be in danger. Similar case would be with my food, if I'll consume such kind of things, despite being the external environment being cold. So we need to understand and we need to gather this fact that the compatibility of internal environment with respect to external environment is very much important for the survival of an organization. Uh, there are different tools that are used for the purpose of doing the environment analysis. One of them is PESTEL. PESTEL stands for political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors. And um, again, this is one of the tools that help you understand and evaluate the different environmental factors that have an effect on the organization, the legal conditions, the laws that are related to your organization, the political situation, the relations, international relations with different kind of countries from where you can export your material, raw material, and which countries can be your prospective clients. But in case, despite being the prospective client situation, despite being the need present there, in case if your country are not in good terms with those countries, you won't be able to export your product over there. Economical environment, factors related to the purchasing power capacity or inflation rate or unemployment rate, that helps you understand that your prospective clients or customers, what is their ability to purchase. Socio-cultural environment, the lifestyle, cultural attributes, religion, and there's so many other things. Technological, obviously, one of the most important factors we need to keep in mind that different countries have different level of technological understanding. Technology is one thing, it's not always the technological backwardness. One technology might be like kind of some people might be very good in certain kind of technology, but if I don't have an idea of that particular technology, it does not mean that I'm backward in that one. Rather, I'm not aware of that particular one. So we need to understand which particular technology is being used in a certain country. And for with that particular technological understanding, we need to come up with our product idea. Legal environment, we have already discussed, and environmental factors, the climatic conditions. For any sector, the environmental factors or the climatic conditions need to be considered. For example, in cold climatic areas, people used to live in like wooden houses, keeping in mind the fact that what is a good insulator and helps in restricting the external cold to penetrate within the house. Whereas in those areas where we have hot climatic areas, people used to live in either cement-based houses or mud-based houses to like keep them keep the internal environment cold. So there are different. Obviously, environmental analysis is such a huge area, as we have discussed earlier, that it's a kind of deductive approach, and the most broader one, broader area that needs to be worked on is the environment analysis. You need to understand every factor that is going to affect your product, your organization's profitability. So one thing which I would like to point out in pestle analysis, they don't discuss the demographics. And market, as I've discussed earlier, microenvironment, the infrastructure, employees, suppliers, distributors, customers, competitors, all these factors are within the control of an organization. If I want to change the infrastructure of my organization, I can change. If I want to change the machinery that is being used by the manufacturing process, I can change it. Employee base can be changed. Supplier, if I want to work on some different kind of raw material, I need to change my supplier. So this way we can work on all these things. Distributors, like if I'm having problem with a certain distribution channel, I can change my distribution network as well. So customer base, obviously, if I'm having a certain segment, I'm working on certain customers. And if I want to change my customer base, that is also obviously within the control of an organization. So many people asked why competitors are considered the part of internal environment. We need to understand the competitors are to some extent within the control of an organization. If I can compete with certain competitors, I will be in competition with them. But in case if I feel that I'm unable to compete them, I will change my target market or segment. A government school can never be a true competitor with a high class school. So we need, or a business related university can never be a competitor, is not a direct competitor with the agriculture university or arts and architecture university. Moving on towards the macro environment, natural, demographics, technological, economical, socio-cultural, political, legal, and ethical. We have already discussed so many factors related to these areas. Demographics specifically was not discussed earlier. The demographics is that particular area that defines the characteristics of population, the characteristics of target market. So when we talk about that thing, we need to understand if I'm working in the clothing sector or textile sector, we have to have the idea of the height, weight, size of people. If I'm working in the shoe manufacturing sector, if I'm working on book publishing sector, in that case, I need to understand like the income, education level, and preferences. So there are so many things that are included in the demographics environment. Even in when we used to get into the depth of these things, I've already shared different videos related to different environments on my channel, and you can go through in detail on them separately as well. But demographic is a huge thing to be considered while making the seats of a car, while making the doors for a building, while making the seats in the office, the table height, the board height, or even for children, if I'm making books for the children, if and I'm unable to understand the true handling capability of them, a big book can never be, can never work right for a small kid. So there are things we need to understand while designing any kind of product. Now, again, the SWOT analysis. We have discussed earlier that this is a kind of deductive approach, and from the environmental attributes we have already analyzed, we need to identify the strengths and weaknesses. Strengths and weaknesses are related to the internal environment. That is, what is the potential of our internal factors, including the infrastructure, including employees, supplier, distributor, and the customer base. Specifically, we need to keep in mind that an organization does not create the value addition or point of differentiation by just themselves. At times, it's the supplier attribute that help constitute their point of differentiation. For example, the raw material provided by the supplier. If I'm saying that a boutique in Pakistan or Gul Ahmed in Pakistan is providing fine quality cotton, or Al Karam is providing fine quality cotton, obviously that is the total credit does not go only to them. That is also the strength of their supplier, the quality of cotton that is provided to them, they're working with. Similarly, if I'm talking about a mobile phone, and obviously in mobile phones, the battery, the screens, all these things are supplied by different suppliers, the motherboard and the softwares. So by the end of the day, the strength of their suppliers contributes to the product themselves. So that is it. And now moving on towards the weaknesses. Similarly, if I do not have, if the organization does not have like kind of suppliers they need, if they are having bad suppliers, they're having bad employee sets, they do not have the good distribution channel, or the distribution channel is costly, or supplier is costly. A strength can be the supplier is good enough, they have a very good quality, but the weakness can be it is not cost effective. So there are things that goes hand in hand. And with the help of those strengths and weaknesses identified, we need to understand the opportunities and threats. Like opportunity with the quality of the raw material provided to the organization. The organization can target certain sector, can work on different products, but the threats could be they might not be cost effective. They might be having different huge competition in certain sector. So there are different considerations. What emerging trends can we take advantage of? What are the strengths? What adjacent markets the organization can tap into? Or what are the geographic locations with less competition? Whereas threats could be especially related to the competition, because all those kind of lucrative sectors, they're always um, um, several number of competitors in such kind of sectors where there is huge potential. So, or in case if your certain weaknesses can become a threat for the organization, that's what we discuss in SWOT analysis. Now, moving on towards the next part of it, after determining the SWOT, after doing the SWOT analysis, we need to understand the STP marketing model, the segmentation, targeting, and positioning. From this point onwards, we are getting into the practical work. Segmentation, that is dividing market into distinct groups of customer based on certain attributes and their preferences. It means that dividing the whole market, whether on the basis of gender, whether on the basis of location, whether on the basis of income groups, whether on the basis of preferences, their lifestyle choices, or their population density, or their age groups. So, or their ethnicity. There are so many things that can be a basis for dividing a market. And why do we segment? An organization need to segment the whole market to create focused marketing strategies, to develop focused marketing strategies, to come up with those kind of products that can maximize the satisfaction level, that can maximize the like their product satisfaction within people. And for that purpose, we have to, being the organization, we have to select certain segments to target. Any organization, or we can say no organization, can satisfy all the people at once. So in order to create a distinctive product, innovative product, we need to select certain segments, work on their needs, identify their needs, and work on their satisfaction level. And targeting means selecting most attractive segments to focus your marketing on. And after that, we start working on the positioning of the product. How do we want to position our product in the market? Determine how to position your product for each target segment. For that matter, we need to work on the point of differentiation that helps differentiate the organization products from the competitors and creating a unique selling point from them. Now, types of market segmentation, as we have discussed earlier, the geographic segment, there are different types of market segmentation. The geographic segmentation, demographic segmentation, psychographic, and behavioral. The geographic one, that is consists of creating different groups based on geographic boundaries, like their location, geographical location, their climatic conditions. For example, if I'm targeting the people living in water climate areas, or if I'm targeting on people living in metropolitan cities or village areas, their products that are only applicable in village areas, whereas there are products that are only useful in metropolitan cities. So we need to divide such markets based on their geographic locations. Demographic, as the name itself implies, dividing the market on variables based on age, gender, income, occupation, and their size. Again, as I've discussed earlier, demographic has such huge depths in it. And getting insight of those depths will help flourish the organization. Psychographic segmentation, dividing the group based on their behavior, lifestyle, attitudes, and interest. It's highly influenced by the socio-cultural environment as well. Next comes the behavioral segmentation based on one need to understand that psychographic attributes are related to the person's own attitude, their own preferences, whereas behavioral is always towards the product. So specific reaction and the way customers go through their purchasing processes, their like for example, their benefit sort, their loyalty usage rate, their loyalty status. So all these things lie in the behavioral segmentation. We have different attributes that are mentioned over here: the region, country size, city size, population density, climate. Obviously, you know, based on the population density, we used to come up with the apartments or houses of such kind. And demographics, we have so many factors available: psychographics and then behavioral. Purchase occasion, what are the different occasions? Benefit sought, everyone has different kind of benefits that they are seeking from the products. So we need to understand what is the actual reason of making a purchase for any kind of particular commodity. And user status, if we talk about whether they are beginners, whether they are the frequent users, whether they are the loyal ones or not. So moving on towards the next stage, that is Porter Five Forces model. Now, after understanding and evaluating the environment and doing the SWOT analysis and defining the STP, that is segmentation, targeting, and positioning, we need to understand the level of competition we are going to face in the market. Porter, again, it's another tool that is used to understand and evaluate the competition in the market. That is also considered the 5-dimensional model because of the 5 factors that are discussed in it. The first thing that comes is the rivalry among existing competitors. The other is threat of new entrants, the potential entrants. Third is threat of substitute products, the alternatives that are provided to them, and the bargaining power of suppliers and the bargaining power of buyers. And while talking about the rivalry among existing competitors, that means you're understanding and analyzing the competition that exists within how many number of competitors that are already available within the organization. We need to understand one thing as well, that in case if we are talking about the perfect competition, in economics, you divide the market based on perfect competition and imperfect competition. In case of perfect competition, we have free entry and exit. And when we have free entry and exit, you can have as many competitors because of less requirements, less legal requirements, less exit barriers. So if we are developing such kind of products that has an easy entry or exit, we need to keep in mind that we will be having larger number of competitors. For example, in case if I'm talking about a normal burger that is being sold on the streets, we have we have a lot of number of suppliers in the city. But once we get into that, although we can count, but that is beyond counting, because there are so many people who used to sell while being mobile. So in that case, those kind of sellers, obviously you will be facing huge competition. But in case if you're talking about the automobile manufacturers or the telecom sector, we will be having limited number of rivals over there. Similarly, the threat of new entrants increases with the kind of commodity. If we are developing the kind of commodity that is very easily manufacturable, we will be having more number of potential entrants. Whereas in case of the kind of commodity uh, like technical product, or if we are working with such kind of programs where there are huge restrictions, we will be having less competition and less potential entrants. Substitutes and products, keep this thing in mind. In case if you have a greater number of substitutes, your product is more elastic in nature. People can switch towards your substitutes if you do not provide the product as per their standards, and if you do not provide the product on appropriate pricing. People can easily switch towards the substitute products. We need to keep in mind those factors. Similarly, the bargaining power of suppliers increases if there are less suppliers and more buyers, more competitors, more manufacturing organizations, their bargaining power will increase. So if we want to have uninterrupted supply available, we need to find out alternate supply sources. We need to work on such kind of products where the suppliers are readily available. And in case if we do not have, we are more dependent on the suppliers, and their bargaining power will be high. Similarly, in case if the manufacturing organizations are more and the buyers that are present in the society, in the market are less, their bargaining power will be, the bargaining power of buyers will be high. Whereas in case if we have limited suppliers of the product, we have limited suppliers of the commodity, manufacturers of the commodity, and there are a great number of buyers in the society, their bargaining power will be less. If we take the example of the case with monopoly, if a company is working in monopoly in the market, they the buyers, they do not have any kind of bargaining power. Whatever the company is providing, they have to buy it. And especially in case of the basic necessities of life, if such kind of necessities of life are if they goes in the hand of commercial organization, the buyers, they have to buy it by all means. Now, moving on towards the next step of our marketing plan, that is defining the POPs and PODs, the point of parity and point of difference. We need to understand the point of parity are the similarities that exist in the products of the similar sector and that help define the category membership as per the Philip Kotler. He also explained it in his book that the points of parity are the similarities. For example, in case if I'm talking about beverages, the milk-based juices are different, whereas the cola-based juices are different. They have certain attributes that defines them, that categorizes them as the cola beverages or the milk juices. Whereas there are organizations that used to provide the product as, rather than supplying their product as milk-based juices, they supply their product as chocolate flavored milk. For example, if you talk about Milo, Pakola supplies the product in the market with the name of Pakola milk juice, whereas Pakola flavored milk, and similarly Milo provides the juice in the market with Milo chocolate flavored milk, whereas we have other organizations that used to supply them as the milk juices. In juices, we have the nectar categories, we have the juices categories, and we have the fruit, like Rani. Out of all juices, they differentiate their product with the help of the fruit chunks that is like added to them. And in case if we talk about the nectar that was provided to the market by Nestle, initially it was in the form of nectar that was purely fruit extract. But later on, when if we talk about the other juices that are provided by the organization, they contain a fragment of the juice, whereas the rest is the sugared uh, liquid. So point of differences are those differences that helps distinguish the company's product from their rest of competitors. And from all those point of differences, we can deduct a single unique selling point as well. As we have discussed earlier, adding USP in the business, in the mix, that is unique selling point. And that is always deducted from the point of differentiation that is provided by the organization. We need to understand that a company may provide multiple point of differentiation, but the unique selling point is from the customer's perspective. The reason behind their purchase, the reason behind their selection of your commodity. And point of differentiation can either be the packaging. For example, taking the example of Rani juice, they have the tin packaging. They have a different kind of packaging style. They have different kind of flavors that are added. But the main reason behind the purchase is that like bring the customers towards their product is the fruit chunks that are added within them. So this is one thing. Now moving on towards, okay. Now, as we have already completed majority of our marketing plan, as we have discussed earlier in the process, that the process starts from idea generation to market analysis and ends on marketing mix. But before the marketing mix, the USP. And we have already defined the USP. So before designing the marketing mix, we need to understand another thing that is a prerequisite of our marketing mix. That is understanding the nature of commodity, a prerequisite. We need to understand, in order to come up with the best combination of marketing mix, we need to understand the nature of commodity. Understanding the nature of commodity is crucial, is vital for the success of your marketing mix. The marketing mix is not just about selecting any item and coming up with any combination to distribute your product in the market. No, it's not like that. The success will only lie in case if you have selected the right one. So for that matter, we need to understand the products are divided into two basic categories: consumer products and industrial products, industrial goods. One is the convenience goods, shopping goods, specialty goods, unsold goods. And industrial are divided in different kind of categories, that either the finished, unfinished, or semi-finished goods, or the raw material, fabricating parts, accessory equipment, or operating supplies. And while talking about the consumer goods, we need to understand that there are further subcategories as well. Convenience goods get further divided into staples, emergency, impulse goods, whereas shopping can be the homogeneous and heterogeneous shopping goods. Similarly, the specialty goods and unsought. So we need to understand the convenience goods are those kind of goods where the customers seek convenience. These are comprised of the daily use household commodities, the basic use commodities, and low price item. We need to understand that these kind of goods are higher in frequency. They purchase is higher in frequency, whereas the price is comparatively less as compared to the other types of goods. Shopping goods are those kind of commodities where we that comprises of personal use items, comparatively limited in frequency of purchase and higher in price. Specialty goods are those kind of goods that are like purchased for a very longer period of time. They are not frequently bought, and the level of consideration is high based on the high prices of such items. For example, the real estate, for example, the machinery is purchased, your car, your machinery, your computers, all the electronic items that are purchased for the use because of their high price and the importance of their use. The level of consideration is very high. The fourth is the unsought goods. In so many cases, this particular category is not further discussed in so many books as well. But these are those kind of goods where customer usually do not seek them, but when they need them, they would be given the access to it. For example, the funeral arrangements. These are not those kind of things that are marketed in society usually, but obviously in times of need, they should be available readily. So obviously, in these kind of commodities, the distribution channel plays a very important role rather than the promotion of it. Now moving on towards one thing we also need to understand that there is no hard and fast rule, and there is no specific list of things that are included in these kind of categories. The list of those categories varies from society to society. So Pringles might be considered a staple in America, but it might not be considered a staple in Pakistan. Or we can say wheat. We used to consume wheat every now and then, but in so many societies, there are noodles or there are spaghettis and pasta that are part of the staples for them. That is the convenience food. So that is one thing. Similarly, if we say specialty interior decor and design, that might be considered a specialty item for certain people, for like middle income group, but it might be the interior designing might be a shopping goods for like higher income class, the upper class. Like they used to change their interior decor in 6 months, or they used to change their car or something like that, the car or personal gadgets in the similar time frame. So the list may vary. In industrial goods, we have the raw materials, suppliers, fabricating parts, and material installation parts, operating supplies as well. And we need to understand that marketing strategy varies in all these kind of things. The distribution channel plays a very important role. The promotion is different as compared to the one that is used in consumer good, and that we are going to discuss in detail in the later part. The 4 P's, the part of marketing mix. So the 4 P's of marketing. So the last part of it, and obviously, although we are going to discuss very briefly, but we need to keep in mind that there is a very strong philosophy behind it, every component. The product, place, price, and promotion. Hierarchy is a bit of change: product, price, place, and promotion. The product comprises of goods and services, and the pricing strategies are based on the elasticity of commodity as well. The distribution channel, the place, comprises of the channel of distribution, whether it be the direct channel, whether it be the indirect channel, or the logistics, the storage and warehousing capacities. So for every kind of product, we need to understand that every product does not need the direct channel, or every product does not need the indirect channel, right? In case if you're talking about the specialty, the direct channel means that is the product is provided directly to the customers from the manufacturers, whereas in case of indirect channel, we have different kind of intermediaries that are available to them. And similarly, the transport means of transportation are there. Logistics also play a role in the place, like the distribution channel you're talking about, the storage capacities, the warehousing facilities. In indirect channel, we used to have the intermediaries like the retailer and wholesaler. And the strategy varies with the, again, we have discussed earlier that the strategy varies with the nature of commodity. And if you're talking about the convenience goods obviously are those type of goods where the customers seek convenience, and they are not going to approach the manufacturers to just get a bar of soap or something like that, or a normal detergent, or a cooking oil in their houses. Rather, they will prefer to have it available on their doorstep with the help of intermediaries or the distribution channels. Whereas in case of like a high price specialty goods, people prefer to have the direct connection with the organization. People do not prefer to buy these things with the from the retailers unless they are authorized dealers. So we can conclude this thing. We can say that the reliability increases in the direct channel, whereas the access to the customers increases in the indirect channel. And the companies need to opt either of their selection based on a lot of considerations, whether they want the reliability more, whether the nature of their product seeks reliability more, or whether they want access to the customers to provide them convenience. So that's the reason it was a prerequisite, understanding the nature of commodity. Similarly, the promotion is different for different kind of commodities. Advertising is good for type of convenience goods that are provided to the whole market. Whereas in case of talking about the industrial goods or high-priced specialty goods, it's better to have like kind of public relations or sales promotion letters. So we have different kind of promotion activities. The sales promotion is there, the advertising is there, the public relation is there, and the publicity, free word of mouth promotion is also there. But every promotion strategy is selected based on the type of commodity. Advertising is not appropriate for business goods or industrial goods, keeping in mind the audience, they do not every now and then watch TV or something. So that will just increase the cost of organization to like go for a high price advertisement that will not even provide them access to their customers. So this was all about the marketing mix and the marketing plan. So I hope you all have got the idea of what we are talking about and what we have gone through in order to come up with the right marketing mix. We need to go through all those steps that we have discussed earlier. So wish you best of luck for your future endeavors, and I hope you will come up with a very good marketing plan with the help of this particular slideshare. Thank you so much.